Hello peoples, this is Dat the E-Vegan. I just got off of work and I've got a few things that I want to talk about. Let's go. So it seems like a lot of people make excuses about adopting electric vehicles and or buying electric cars. So, and it seems like a lot of the resistance is based off of fear. That's what it appears to me. This is based on the conversations that I've had with people. This is based off of just the interactions that I've had with people. Let me put autopilot on real quick. All right, let's go. That's good. Okay, well, so prime example. So a couple of days ago, I was at Advanced Auto Parts trying to get something for the car. It was like a windshield washer fluid or something like that. And the guy first he asked, what are you looking for, blah blah. I tell him what I was looking for. He asked, what car is it for? I tell him it's for a Tesla, and he's like, oh, a Tesla, you must be rich then. I'm like, well, I'm doing okay. So we exchange a few more interactions, and then we started talking about the car itself, and he was like, well, I've heard that Teslas are ridiculously fast. I was like, yes, they are. They are fast, they are smooth. And then the fear aspect started to show with the next questions. He was like, yeah, but the batteries though, the batteries are very expensive. I've heard the batteries can cost as much as the car. And then I was like, well, it depends on what you're talking about. And then he goes, well, so like right now, if you had to replace the battery on your car, how much would it cost? I'm like, well, okay, if we take my car as an example, my car is warranted currently with an 8-year, 120,000 mile. Hold on, I'm braking. Okay, all right. Had autopilot on and the light turned red. Okay. All right. So currently, 8 years, 120,000 miles. And, so if something goes bad with my battery right now, I can get it replaced for no cost, or at no cost. I can get it replaced. And then I told him, if the battery, let's say the battery goes bad after 8 years or after 120,000 miles of owning the car, then by that time, I might as well I would have gotten another car by then, or by that time the battery technology would have advanced so much that the batteries would be super cheap, so it wouldn't be a problem. So basically, just trying to let them know that it's not an issue. The batteries is not an issue. So and then he goes, well, don't you have to like charge that thing all the time or something like that? I was like, well, you do most of your charging at home, so it's actually more convenient than, let's say, owning a gas car, because with a gas car you have to go to a gas station and fill up. With an EV, an electric car, you charge at home. You charge at the convenience of in your home. So you actually save time by not going to the gas station. And then he goes, but what if it gets stuck on the road? Or what if you run out of charge? Which I've had a number of people ask this question, and it really is a stupid question. I don't want to sugarcoat it. It's a stupid question, because if the car runs out of charge, that means you didn't plan properly that day. You didn't plan properly. By the time it runs out of charge, the car would have warned you plenty of times to stop by a charging station so that you can charge. So, you know, if you run out of charge, you just been irresponsible. So I'm like, okay, well, so again, I reiterated it. I told him, well, you do most of your charging at home. However, if you're low on charge, for Teslas, they have supercharging stations to where, you know, you can get from 20% to 80% in about, you know, 30 minutes, 45 minutes or something like that. And he was like, well, yeah, I just feel like I'm just that kind of person that I would just forget to charge and I would just run out of charge. And I'm like, well, you know, in my head, I didn't tell him this. In my head, I'm thinking, well, you're just making up all kinds of excuses to not, you know, to not be in favor of electric cars. Okay, I mean, I'm not saying they should go out and buy one right now. I mean, you know, I don't know what your financial situation is or anything like that. I'm not saying you should go out and buy one, but I'm just saying, you know, to have a favorable opinion of electric cars, you have to realize the reality of the situation. So, you know, I tried to explain to him as much as possible, but it just seems like he just wanted to make excuses after excuses. And but again, you know, the whole thing about, oh, if your car, if you know, what happens if it runs out of charge? Like, you know, they say it as if your car would have as if your car would have, let's say, 30% charge, right? 30% charge, and most cars will start kind of like letting you know at 20% that, you know, it's you know, you need to charge. It's about time. You need to start thinking about stopping somewhere to charge. But they make it seem like it's gonna go from 30% to 5% and then to 0, just like that, right? Just like that, from 30% to 5% to 0. That's not how it works, okay? That's not how it works. All right.